All right, we are live. TigerBait live on the air. Big Wednesday evening. LSU baseball on their way to Georgia for the last SEC baseball weekend. I try to come up with a different word in the title of the show besides LSU baseball. Are they cooked? But it sure seems like a lot of people this week are down in the dumps about the prospects of how far this LSU baseball team can go. We're going to talk about that. Big weekend in football recruiting for LSU. Transfer portal, Logan Diggs, Johnson from LCA. Class of 2024 goes down. 15 commitments now for the class of 24. We've been out on the road at TigerBait and some more guys to see before spring football evaluation period ends. We got all that to discuss. LSU and Florida State is officially a 6:30 ABC on Labor Day weekend on a Sunday night. They've got sole possession of Sunday to themselves. They're going to draw a big number. Marquee game and one of the biggest non-conference openers for LSU in history. Everybody remembers the 2011 game against Oregon. This one could be bigger. And so, two top 10 teams. All right, Buddy Songy, welcome in.
The publisher and CEO of TigerBait.com. Hello, everybody. Great to be here. And I am inexplicably in a really good mood. I'm going to give some different takes tonight. You know, it's easy as hell to criticize. It is easy as hell to say something after the fact. Oh, Jay Johnson should have never put him in. He should have never bunted, taken the bat out of Gavin Newsom. So anyway, I'm going to give you some tidbits that aren't so much critical because we've all beat that to death on the site and all through social media. But who would have thunk it that LSU football had to save the personalities, the moods, and the relationships of Tiger fans after a excruciating 14-13 loss to Mississippi State. So now all of a sudden, ABC Florida State 6:30. And oh, by the way, in case you don't know, Keon Coleman doesn't want to live in the state of Louisiana after he plays football. He's going to be a Seminole.
Good for him.
And so then
LSU doesn't need him.
And then you got Johnson who commits on Monday, and Logan Diggs. Man, I'm fired up. All you people, folks, you don't understand. You never turned out a running back from Rummel, Louisiana. That is a load. I called him a couple of words that people quoted, but he is a load to tackle. I'm going to be PG tonight if I can. But
he's been hovering at PG-13 to R each week, but
anyway, so football has saved you, but this is a lucky black shirt. It's got green on it, too. I got my master's of PGA this weekend, so I'm going to tie in the colors and getting LSU out of this funk and moving forward because, man, you've already said 11-1.
You like the Puma.
I've worn this show 3 times on this show.
Just a side note, guys, I found a pair of Puma golf pants. Most comfortable pants I've ever worn.
I've never seen you on a golf course.
It doesn't matter. Their pants are the best thing.
Just kidding.
They're unbelievable. Go find you a pair.
I just signed a deal with Vuori along with Baton, the big size. All kidding aside, saw an interview before I came over here with Angel Reese. I'm going to tell you something, folks. Angel Reese is going to do with women's basketball what Joe Burrow did for LSU football. And it is going to be a sight to see. That young lady is taking this place and this world by storm right now. So a lot of good stuff. But look, don't let that baseball team get you down. None of this matters right now. It starts for real in a couple weeks.
Our buddy Blake Ruffino with an opening remark. He says, Mike wears Kim Mulkey pajamas. And you tell me where they're selling them. I might buy a pair if they make them in my size. But I think you can probably put Kim Mulkey on any shirt, any apparel, and it'll sell like hotcakes.
Blake likes this.
But he is saying I'm a big fan, and I'm totally bought in and a homer for Kim Mulkey and the women's basketball team, and I absolutely am.
And I know Blake was a big fan of Jay Johnson until him and Matt Trent had to pour over that blown game. Look, folks, you're going to learn from that. They're going to be okay in baseball. I'll tell you what they need to do, though.
Yeah, I was on Buddy's show earlier today, and I'm amazed by the LSU baseball close friends of mine who are all very positive guys, and they're just down in the dumps right now. I think the majority of them think that LSU's postseason could look exactly like last year's. And the pitching is just It's hurting a lot of people. So we'll see what they can do. But when you got that many pitchers on the staff and you can't find a solution, how many of those guys' scholarships does he renew, buddy?
Well, let's not worry about all that right now because baseball is crazy.
No, I mean, those guys need to be thinking about where they're going to be playing next year.
Well, they better be thinking about right now.
I don't think he's bringing any of them back.
Well, it doesn't matter. You got to worry about what's right now. Look, they get 11-7. They divvy that up. But
and Beth Serena?
Uh-oh. Come on, man. She's the number 10 national seed.
Yeah, don't be losing this weekend.
Boy. I fed him some Manda hot sausage. I did not know he ate it before the show. By the way, pitching 4.68 for the ERA. And here's a little trivia question that nobody's asked. Who's the leading hitter, the average-wise, on the LSU baseball team right now?
Matthew Vincent. Do you think that John Emery leaves because LSU added Logan Diggs? I don't know that he leaves. Where's he at academically? We talked about that today as well. Did he have a great semester? What does he need in summer school? Where's he at eligibility-wise? How many hoops does he have to jump through with the LSU academic side? Hoops does he have to jump through with Brian Kelly? But this is why you went and got Logan Diggs. And every time I talk about John Emery, I feel like I'm taking shots at the kid. But frankly, it's not just the academic situation; it's the fumbles. To me, I do not count John Emery on the depth chart. I just don't.
Well, I'm an old guy, and you're not supposed to let me scoop you on stuff. But he did tweet out about an hour or two ago. He was in the weight room. Now, they did have grades come in here, and I project that this was all about Emery having enough hours for being at the time he's been at LSU. So if he has actually graduated, he will have opportunity to play as a grad transfer. Now, we hope he hadn't fumbled away that opportunity, but bottom line is that we'll know relatively soon. But folks, if you think that you could ever be too loaded and too fat at the running back spot, here's the blockbuster comment to open this show. They're going to run the football and play more ball possession football this year with Denbrock and Kelly because of that big-ass, incredible offensive line and having backs like Noah Cain, Logan Diggs, and the rest. So, yeah, you're going to throw it and get it to the receivers. But this year, you worry about Florida State and that offense and that defense and the secondary. What happens if LSU carries it and goes down 7 minutes
Let's dive into this. Okay, Josh Williams is 100%.
Well, no. Kelly said he wasn't 100%.
No, but I'm posing a hypothetical.
Okay.
He's 100%. Logan Diggs comes in ready to go and basically picking up where he left off last year for the Irish. Caleb Jackson comes in, looks like a fantastic freshman. Trey Holly's already been there, and Noah Cain had a great spring. If you're Frank Wilson, at what point are you saying, when can I get John Emery in? And who would you jump him over?
Well, he's at the back of the line.
I wouldn't jump him over anybody.
But he's at the back of the line, and that's what they did with Burrow. He came in. They didn't give Burrow the starting job. He was the fourth quarter. But it's a good problem to have. My point was this.
Armani Goodwin. I ain't brought up him.
Well, he's been hurt most of his career.
What if he's 100%? That's another guy.
But my point is this. With these new rules and not stopping the clock after a first down, you're going to be able to control the tempo. Brian Kelly's already said it. What you do in the last 2 minutes of the game and a half is going to be crucial. But I just think LSU now, Logan Diggs is the kind of back that Denbrock and Kelly want to have to control tempo, and that's what I think they're going to do this year.
Of course, the show's brought to you by Pride Roofing each and every week. We're going to talk about Mike and Alex a little bit later in the show. And if you're enjoying the show, as always, please hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us with the YouTube algorithm when you guys do that. James Moore, hey, Buddy and Mike. Brian Kelly struck gold with Diggs. This is the most complete back among the group. I hope Denbrock showcases all of his abilities, especially catching out of the backfield. Absolutely.
Yeah, they had a couple of highlight films. He took a little swing pass and went 75 yards, hurdled over another guy. Look, he's going to be playing in the SEC, going to wear number 3. And he's a Louisiana kid. Once again, a great story. Guys that didn't come here the first time coming to the back half. I think it's a great story and a great addition.
Gary Williams, I'm excited about the addition at running back. Thanks for being with us, Gary. Bill Freer, Diggs is a game changer, all-purpose 3-down back. Brandon Reese getting Johnson and Diggs was huge for BK. Jawan Johnson, just to talk about him real quick, obviously talked about it months ago. Is that Colorado commitment going to stick? A week and a half or 2 weeks later after I said that, he decommits. We immediately put in a prediction for LSU, and he comes in on Monday and gives Brian Kelly as a commitment in person with his parents Monday afternoon. And he's a special kid from a special program. LCA produces athletes in every sport. Basketball, you got a fantastic women's basketball commitment for Mulkey for 24. Football players every year, multiple other kids on that roster that have LSU offers, and more to come. Softball players, men's basketball, boys basketball, they've got it all there. And so that is a great pipeline in multiple sports for LSU.
And corner, you need corners. You can't ever have enough corners, running back, skill people. The great thing about this LSU team, all those big uglies like Will Campbell, Emory Jones, and Lance Hurd, that even puts icing on the cake. But Jawan Johnson is also going to be a factor in special teams, and I can't wait to see. Number one, Aaron Anderson. I'm predicting it on this Wednesday night. He's going to take one of the house this year via a punt return. Oh, by the way, LSU averaged 4.1 yards per punt return. Horrible last year.
Yep. I can't wait to get – I mean, I'm assuming if everybody's healthy, we're going to get maybe a full practice within the first 2 weeks. I don't know. Maybe not. But either way, I want to see him out there healthy in the 4 periods we do get, if that's all we get.
Yeah, I think Coach Kelly will be a lot more receptive to us seeing him with a full tank of gas. That was running on empty in the spring.
Yeah. Big Cojones Kelly, good evening, Mike and Buddy, and fellow Tiger Baiters. Go Tigers. Glad to have you with us. Chance Babin, what's the word on the JUCO tight end offensive tackle? He seems like a perfect player to take a flyer on. I'm starting to wonder. You've got the kid from Marshall and Tulane, Says, on campus. Am I saying his name right?
I just saw some scoop on him, and a lot of people think they're going to get him a safety, 6'1", 180.
Originally from Iowa.
And Clarence Caesar, Hail Caesar, the only kid I ever remember.
That's the first time I ever saw Devin White. Was at a playoff game in Iowa versus Iowa, and that was when he was playing running back and linebacker, playing both ways. Went and filmed him, and I think it was his 10th grade year. And, man, he was fantastic. But, Iowa's had some good athletes over the years. But they've all, just been right a little under the radar, not quite LSU at the time. But he's gone somewhere else, and now they've got him back. So we'll see.
Yeah, Andre Sam is who you were talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
6'1", 180. A lot of people think that he's going to play his final year at LSU, and we've been talking about.
That's just amazing. You can go from Marshall to Tulane to LSU within a year. I mean, good for him, but that just shows you there are absolutely zero guardrails on how many times you can ping pong around different places.
Well, especially
he's a grad transfer too.
But with the COVID year, gave everybody an extra year. And look, back to that big tight end, I like the idea. I think this guy's about 270. Denbrock and Kelly want him to play as a blocking tight end. And let's be honest, you don't have a big, massive Darrell Washington-type kid from Georgia who's 270 to pile drive, and we know LSU likes to run the short yardage. You got Diggs trying to get a yard behind all those big uglies. I like that this year.
Now, you remember Lance Guidry, who was the one who got him to Tulane.
I understand.
Remember him?
I understand. I know about Jansen.
Jansen Jackson's daddy. I'm assuming he's on death row.
I don't know.
California.
I don't know.
That was Ed Orgeron got him to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then Coach Guidry gave me a interview afterwards that went viral. talking about how that went down.
Well, I would like to see them add the young man, the DB, because LSU needs more. And I'm hoping, Mike, the guy we hadn't talked much about, I'm hoping Deuce Chestnut is a guy that we haven't been talking about that's going to be a big part of this physicality in the SEC, because you got to have guys that'll bust you up. And let's be honest, Brooks and Major Burns have both had some injuries, and Sage Ryan is not the most physical guy. LSU got to get some snot knockers, and so we'll see if they can get there. But, hey, with all these offensive weapons, you may have to outscore some people this year.
Andy Whitaker, Fizzbud, is this the best backfield in the SEC now? If everybody's 100% and healthy, man, Frank Wilson's got to feel pretty darn good about things.
That's a Blake Ruffino comment. I don't think anybody can say how good their running back room is.
You really
right
think
now.
about it too.
No, I love Fitbizz. What I'm saying. Nobody knows how good they are right now.
My question is, think about the injury situation. LSU's had a pretty, of all the positions that have been injury prone, LSU's been pretty darn good luck-wise with running backs. Fournette, of course, ended his career the way he did.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Justin Vincent blew his knee out. Didn't Ali Broussard maybe have the same issue at one point? I know he got injured, but, man, LSU for the most part has had a pretty darn good run of running backs being healthy, and running back committee, and they have a lot of tread on the tire. The tread on the tire of these running backs with that group and being able to rotate those guys, they're going to be some guys that the NFL is going to like.
And my point to FitBuzz was this. I don't think anybody, coaches, players, or whatever, knows right now what that running back room is going to look like. You're going to get the young pups here coming up here in 2 weeks in June. You're going to work through the summer. The concerted effort of the leaders to get them to practice in the summer. How many times are they going to be running up the levee? How many times are they going to be pushing the tire, doing all the hard grunt work that nobody sees? None of us know how bad they want it. None of us know how hungry they're going to be. But if they've got the leadership, they've got potentially a really good offensive backfield. But it's too early to know right now, in my opinion.
Fire 3449. Hey, Mike and Buddy, great show. And he says, hit the like button. Thank you for that. Please do hit the like button if you're enjoying our show. Very much appreciative when you guys appreciate that when you guys do that. Brian Turner, good evening, gentlemen. What does Matt House and this LSU defense need to do to not get shredded by Jordan Travis?
Well, I think the first answer to that is win the line of scrimmage and put your hands up and make it shallow windows to throw through. Look, Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo, we talked about it today. I don't think any of us know. Now, Mason Smith, as we know, potentially can be one of the better D tackles in the country, and Wingo plays appreciably bigger than his size. But they haven't been there, and you got all those guys with depth. So first thing is you got to win the line of scrimmage and put pressure. Second thing, you got to free up your linebackers to blitz. And third thing is that you're going to have to tackle in space, because Florida State is going to dink and dunk to Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman and all these other skilled people. So that's why I said with Diggs and running the football, the best way to defend Florida State, keep the football. But it's going to be a challenge on that defense, Mike.
It's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, it is.
And marquee matchup like we talked about earlier. All right, let's hear from Mike Faraday and Alex Martinez with Pride.
Hey, it's Michael and Alex again with Pride Roofing. Here we grow again. Did your roof get denied during Hurricane Ida?
The insurance company is playing game with you.
Don't forget, August 29th is your 2-year anniversary to make a claim.
Your neighbor got new roof, why not you?
Pay your deductible. We're fortified, certified.
We do your roof. You came on the Pride umbrella. Bet on Pride.
855
Pride
16.
There you go. Mike and Alex talked to Mike earlier today. Opened up a new Crown Metals location in Houma. And they also do Pride Roofing out of there. So they are expanding all across South Louisiana. Of course, based in Albany, Louisiana, at Pride Roofing, and real big in Tangipahoa, Baton Rouge, the North Shore, New Orleans, Houma, Thibodaux, They've got you covered, commercial or residential roofs, any style of roof. Call them at 855-PRIDE-16. Tell them you heard about them right here on TigerBait, and they will pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for 1 year. There's a couple of guys out there that I recently shot emails to get that free promo. Check your email boxes, check your spam boxes so we can get you set up. And I've got more guys in the box they sent me. A lot of you guys jumping on that promo, and you cannot beat it. Let them come check out your roof. Cost you nothing. Free roof inspection, and just say TigerBait, and they're going to give you TigerBait Premium free for a year.
Hey, want to thank all of the people who have given them an opportunity. That's all they're asking for. We say PRIDE, pride, and they do take great pride. By the way, the Pride Promise is we are going to take care of you, and the roof over your head is just as important, if not more so, than the roof over ours. Metal roofs, very, very hot right now. You talked about Crown Metals and that acquisition. Baton Rouge getting bigger and better. No, we're not on TV every 20 minutes, but give Jorge Martinez a call, 275-2041 on Government Street outside the Baton Rouge area at 855-PRIDE-16. And Mike, they take great pride in what's going on with LSU right now. And they also gave a lot of support to Southeastern, as we know with the ball game that did not make TV. Radio only. I don't think we'll have one of those for long, but they give back to the community. All we ask is that you give them an opportunity, go and get there early, do the job right, and they will show up in a pencil. Give Mike and Alex a call. They're great staff, and as always, you will not be disappointed.
Well, Sherman Wilson, about the time that we went live, of course, Sherman is one of the big-time guys in the LSU football office and handles player personnel and says, like I said, our state, and he's got an umbrella with the rain coming down, so it's raining recruits, and I think he's talking about Andre Sam.
Yep, I do too, and we saw that right before the show, and so it gives you a little bit of wave of momentum. Look, you were talking about the baseball mindset and everybody kind of down in the dumps. Isn't that awesome that football came in? First, you got the Florida State game announced ABC 6:30. Then you got Juwan Johnson. Then you got Logan Diggs. Now you're getting ready to have Andre Sam. And, of course, Coach Kelly is making the waves and doing a lot of interviews and getting acclimated to this town and this insatiable appetite that the LSU fan base have for their football knowledge and information on all the tidbits. And I just have good karma, Mike, with going into this year. I'm not ready to throw a number out there like you are. I want to see what they look like with a full squad. But this is the kind of depth that you need to add on to where when you go 1 through 85, you're not looking at 20 walk-ons. No disrespect, but the job they had to do picking up the pieces is incredible. And you just saw it, more evidence with the NFL draft, not one first-round pick. Trust me, that's not going to happen anytime soon. LSU's reloading, and they're catching up with Bama and Georgia every day, and that makes it exciting to be a Tiger fan.
American Patriot with a super chat. Big time thank you for that, American Patriot, one of our YouTube guys with us each and every week, and we love him being a part of our YouTube community. He says, I missed it. What is wrong with Mason Taylor?
Shoulder.
Yeah, and but he's going to be 100%.
Yeah, should be fine. Shoulder. I think he had some shoulder, just precautionary measure. But look, we were talking about that big tight end. They don't have a big tight end 265 that can be short yardage guy, third tight end. So we'll see if that kid from junior college ends up being a Tiger.
Yeah, Ed Doe, the bus driver. Yeah, he's Lance Guidry's now the DC at Miami, and he's been a bit of a traveler, and he's had a lot of jobs and. Very much a likable guy, but he was at Tulane for a very short stint. That's how Sam got there, and he departed, and that's how he started looking around. And
another great case of a kid that comes from the state of Louisiana and is going to get a chance to play in Tiger Stadium. And I think it's one of the things that Brian Kelly has stressed, but we haven't stressed enough. He wanted kids that know what it means to play for LSU and know what it means to wear the purple and gold. And these guys, can you imagine Logan Diggs? Logan Diggs, how many times we've been talking about that kid? Mike was sitting there going like, man, they wanted to get him. I think.
I thought there was a real chance they were going to get him last year.
Yeah, but I mean, that first year they actually mentioned, well, maybe you play defense, and Logan Diggs. I don't blame him. Guy's a hell of a running back.
But that was Orgeron's staff.
I know.
But I'm talking about Frank Wilson
I know.
and them. There was some, but there you go. Keep bringing up Lance Guidry, but he's actually from Welsh, Louisiana, outside of Jennings. Got a lot of friends in that area. All right, let's see. Let me scroll down, get some more comments. All right, LSU baseball. What's your outlook? What do they do this weekend in Athens? Thursday, Friday, Saturday game. What do they have to do? If they don't take 2 out of 3 in Athens, is there a chance that they don't get a top 8 seed?
Well, let's kind of make this real and personal. Out there, folks, you wake up and you just don't feel right. You don't have your inner peace. You're off physically. You're off mentally. What the hell's going on underwater at LSU? Gavin Dugas against Mississippi State misses a fly ball, much like Arkansas did when they blew the chance to win the national championship. Last night, Alex Milazzo missing the ball. They're in a funk, and we've all been there. And, those of us who are very big spiritually.
Do you make a change of catcher? Do you start somebody?
Well, no, but I was just going to say, you pray to God to get you out of this funk. But here's some different things that I think. And look, Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens and all those baseball players are the class of the class. Jay Johnson will tell you they are better players, people than they are players. But here's what I think needs to go on. And this is just kind of crazy, and I want to get a little different. So first of all, let's talk about the brain. Right? When we make mistakes, and I've made it 4 or 5 already tonight, but I'm going to not worry about them. You want to do better. Bottom line is that they need, and in the old days they were called a shrink, but we're talking about therapists. We're talking about psychological. We're talking about psychiatrists. They need to actually talk to some people who can help them. Get it off their chest. You see Dylan Cruz, and everything he's doing is hitting the ball down into the ground. So the first thing for Dylan Cruz, do the video guy and cut up the first 50 or 60 hits when he was swinging well and show him what he was doing. Right now, he is not swinging, acting, playing like he did. A lot of it's psychology. So work on the brain. I'm a big believer in meditation. Skip Bertman used to have his team lie on the ground and visualize what they wanted to accomplish. Third thing, tape. Put the tape in. Show them. Now look, Trey Morgan hit 2 home runs and made 3 great plays in the outfield Sunday, off and on. Tommy White is hitting the cover off the ball right now. He's still good. Skeens is good. But I'm talking about the guys that aren't living up, Cruz and others. Positive reinforcement. Show them the tape when they were going right versus what they're doing now. And as we know, Tiger Shark and others, it's been, if you think it's been hard to watch, can you imagine how tough it's been? Because they know they've been playing like crap. You don't have to tell them that. So mentally, physically, psychologically, and I'm a big proponent of.
There's too many good baseball players on that team to stay in a funk for any length of time.
But the old thing in the dugout is they hit a little toilet and they would flush it. They need to flush all the negativity and have a positive. But this is not just. Look, psychology.
Is that what they need? Do they need a rally possum? What are we talking about? Right?
Well, no, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just saying you got to get back to having fun, and you're not going to have fun until you're playing. But look, meditation, psychology, rest, and they're tired, Mike, too. Give them a day off. Now, they're going to be have a chance to get off their feet a little bit because what they're doing, folks, 5 and noon, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they go to Hoover for the SEC tournament, and they'll have 2 or 3 days off. But in answer to the question, I still think they will be a number 8 seed. And win at least one this weekend. You hope to.
So All they have to do is win one out of 3 in Georgia in one SEC tournament game, and they can be an 8 seed.
You know what their RPI is right now? 4.
Okay.
Okay, they're number 5 rating-wise, but they still have a very good resume. And that's the other question that we hadn't posed. What do you want to get out of the SEC tournament? But, man, Dr. Phil and Dr. Brent McCabe, who is a former LSU baseball player, very smart up here. They need to talk to somebody. I even said this earlier. They might even need to get in a room, players only.
They do all that stuff.
I know, but I'm just saying all of that stuff can help them. But I would put Dylan Cruz a cut-up of 65 straight hits and let him see, because right now he is hitting everything in the ground, and it's even affecting his base running. So, but it's going to pass, folks. Just like any bad little, but they are legitimately in a funk.
Rick
right
Cloetti, Buddy is spot on. If you can vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon a goal, it will come to pass, he puts in quotes.
Okay, that's Skip Burtman.
Yep. He cut and pasted that. How do you like that? And Eric Del Ion says, thanks for talking more baseball after he fussed at us for talking football in May. Okay.
Hey, I'll even throw one more at Mike, and this sounds kind of kinky.
It's hard not to talk football or recruiting this time of year.
Well, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea about this, because there's some negativity on the TV about this, but they need an LMT. You know what an LMT is? That's a licensed massage therapist. Man, I am seeing Jay Johnson and the pressure and the veins and all that. They need to get on that table and get all of those muscle and that deep
Maybe
tissue.
a shot of tequila.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying physically, mentally, psychologically, you got to recharge. And remember, you were number 1, 12 weeks in the country. Nobody was as good as you. They just went down after all of this craziness. They just finally went down as the overall favorite. But I think they'll be a top 8. Whether or not they get out of the Super Regional, I do think they'll get to the Super Regional if it's in Baton Rouge. But if they play like this in crunch time, then they're not doing much. But I don't expect that to continue.
Edo says Georgia needs to win this series and a few in Hoover to make the regionals. LSU will get their best.
3 lefties, by the way. 3 lefties, and they are not starting their top pitcher Thursday night. We talked about that 2 or 3 weeks ago. We thought teams would start doing that.
Doug knows over-under on pitching portal incoming transfers. I say 6.
Well, the first thing you got to ascertain is what guys are going to be coming back from injury, okay? We're talking about the 5 that were lost, Grant Taylor and all those guys.
I'm taking the over.
Over 6? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I hate to tell you this, folks, but there are not many good ERAs on that pitching staff right now.
Big Conus Killer, Travinsky needs to give Cruz some batting pointers.
Folks, I didn't say it yet. Hayden Travinsky is now 1 point ahead of Dylan Cruz. He's hitting .439. Cruz is at .438. Rafe Rhymes has the single-season record at .431. Travinsky does not have even half the at-bats, but he's got 18 hits, and 6 of them are home runs. So, Mike, you want to keep his big bat in. And then you got Milazzo for late defense, and everybody's been in a funk. And we said this 2-3 weeks ago, the ability to coach by feel, and Tiger Shark will agree with this. You've got to have a crystal ball on who to put in and how long to keep him in and when to bring that next reliever in. And I made a derogatory comment about a pitcher, about Little. He needs to be used as little as possible. And you got on me a little bit. That was not personal, Kristen. Man.
I'm reading some of the comments, and it's getting a little in the Tokyo spa realm, guys. We're not going there.
No, we didn't say a happy.
Don't do it. Don't say it.
We did not say a happy ending.
All right, yeah.
They need to get those bodies and those muscles relaxed. And in case you don't know anything about baseball or golf, guess what? Loose muscles hit the ball further than tense.
We got a bunch of sophomores in here making me laugh. John Sibley Butler in the bullpen. Failure is contagious. The contagious will leave with one great performance. Will lift everyone in the pen.
Big Sal says, I'm with Mike. Take the tequila. By the way, Big Sal, hope you're doing better, and hope all of those people, Mike and I both have a lot of people that we know that have been sick and in the hospitals and all that. So please, hope you had a great weekend with the Mother's Day and enjoyed that, but take care of your loved ones. That's why I don't read the chat during the show. I should have known somebody would have had Tokyo Spa or Chinese, whatever.
Well, yeah. Chance Babb and Skeens and Travinsky are both hot with the mustaches. Maybe the team needs to grow rally stashes.
I'll tell you what, I like Skeens' stash. Travinsky, man, when he hits it, it's gone. He's not the greatest behind the plate, but do you think?
I'm just going to hate that to have a guy like Skeens that we every week we talk about where does he rate in history, and you just hate to have a guy like that, and you're not going to have a team that is could possibly not meet the expectations, all because of just one bad thing after another, really out of control with the injuries and.
But they still have their destiny in their own hands. Look, this is like if you're going to have.
But it gets to the point where you just see this team fall apart, game 2 and 3 every week. You can hope they snap out of it, but it's like, how are they going to snap out of it? It's just not there.
Ole Miss won.
I'm being negative, but I'm sorry.
Ole Miss won the national championship last year. They were the last freaking team to get in.
All right.
Mississippi State won it the year before, and they didn't have a great regular season record. It's peaking at the right time, and now we're talking about.
It's like when guys come in
flushing
relief,
the toilet.
When people come in relief, it's just like, oh. It's like deflating. It's and I think that's what's spilling over to the hitters.
Well, I'm gonna just repeat one thing, and we'll move on. Life is 10% of what happens, and 90% of how you deal with it.
Buddy's giving us a Dale Carnegie course right here tonight. The power of positive thinking.
You have to flush negativity out of your life. When you are an athlete in baseball, 1 out of 3, and you make $30 million a year, you're going to have failure. If you cannot overcome failure, you will always be negative and go up there. Is that
Dale Carnegie? Is that his?
I'm just telling you.
Or is Norman Vincent Peale?
I'm just telling you this.
Dale would always quote him, but.
Well, I'm just telling you this. The way they're playing right now has nothing to do with what they're going to do in 2 weeks. Now, if they want to be negative Nellies and let that crap in their head continue, then they're not going to do anything. But that's why the media and the fans are on this side, and they're in between the white lines.
John Sibley Butler with a big super chat. Big thank you for that, John Sibley Butler. He's another one of our great regulars with us each and every week. He says, thanks for a great show. Go Tigers. And we thank you for that very nice super chat. Here we go, Rick Cloetti. Dr. Buddy deals with positive vibes tonight. Where do I submit my therapy session fee? Getting our dollars worth tonight, y'all. Absolutely.
No, it's good that we have differences of opinion, but I'm just saying, and I wanted to make that point clear, you are playing a game of failure. If Jaden Daniels is 1 for 3 passing in the first quarter, that's crap. But if Dylan Cruz is 1 for 3 in a game, that's 333, and you make big money for that. It's a different mentality for baseball, and all I'm saying is that I do think this is a funk and it will pass because those guys are good guys and they've got good coaches. But I don't know. I wanted to ask you this. You see Jay Johnson. You see him after games. Do you see him? Now, I don't want to say aging because politics and athletics ages people quicker than anything. But I've seen it. I've seen it the last week or two.
I know it's stressful for him. But I admire the way he conducts himself.
But
I mean, because it's really. This was a team put together in the way they finished fall ball. I mean, it's like this is one where for the rest of his life, if it doesn't go, if they don't pull it out, and you being positive, it'll be what could have been. This will be like the all-time what could have been teams.
But there's still games to be played.
I know, but I'm telling you.
If this was Ole Miss and you could not make it to the SEC tournament, by the way, they won the national championship last year, and they're not playing in the SEC tournament. Flush the negativity in your life. 10% of what happens, 90% of how you deal with it. Dr. Buddy.
Okay, let's scroll down. Fire 3449. The relief staff are constantly trying to hit the corners of the plate. They have to pound the strike zone, get ahead of the batter, and make them hit the ball.
Man alive. How many of you out there like me? You get excited to watch the game. Honey, Tigers are coming on. She said, oh, goodness, you've been bitching the last month. You say they're not fun to watch anymore. You say it's a chore. They have been hard to watch, Mike. And you can tell. I mean, that 13-4, all of a sudden, your brain is going like, one more run, and it's a runnable game. And then all of a sudden, they're coming back, and it's 13-8, 13-10, 13-13. And then you're starting to think, you know that negativity we were just talking about? That seeps in. And so my whole point is that you got to believe. I don't know anybody that isn't successful, that isn't confident in what the hell they're doing. And the only way you get confidence is you do something correctly and consecutively. So if they can flush the toilet with the cobwebs and the karma, I think they can do some great things. But I will say this. They're not going far unless that offense kicks up because, Mike, with the strike zone, with the umpiring, and with these pitchers, I think you're going to be giving up 5, 6, 7 runs a game here in postseason. So if LSU can outscore people 9-7, I give them a chance. But, boy, they've been having some bad at-bats lately.
Hey, Tiger fans, you want to show your LSU Tiger pride? Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar, Southern Tide, hats, Yeti, gifts, and accessories. LSU students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in-store every day, and you can earn cash back with their Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row, or anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Tiger fans shop. Go by there, ask for Rachel, the whole staff there, right there in Perkins Row are fantastic. I swung by there a couple of Thursdays back, and it's just a beautiful store. Brick and mortar, you can go in there, touch it, see it, try it on, and they're adding new products every day. And if you actually use them online, the great thing about Alumni Hall is it's actually shipping from the Baton Rouge location. You're not ordering an LSU product, and it's coming from Maine or Montana or wherever. It's coming from right here in Baton Rouge. And if you're within the state or within in the area, you're going to get your product within a few days. And so absolutely fantastic. And tell me you heard about them on TigerBait, will you?
Hey, let's have some fun. Now, look, I'm going to buy Nurse Court a Gorilla Ball shirt over there. But the next guy that messages in and wants his wife to get a shirt, you give us a size, and Mike, you pick the one at the end of the show. So Nurse Court, I think she wears a medium, but are those back in stock, the Gorilla Ball shirts?
I think they are, but I'm not certain.
Okay, but anyway.
But I think they are. They reordered them because we sold a ton of them.
I'll talk to Rachel and go by there, and so we'll mail it out to you in the coming weeks, but hit somebody up here that deserves it. And you know, Mike, this is a funny thing. When the male LSU fans are going through this with baseball, it's even harder on the woman because, let's be honest, you want to make the weekend. That was Mother's Day. They blow a 13-4 lead and lose the game 4 hours and 12 minutes. Jimmy Hawthorne would have freaked if he had to call that game. 4 hours and 12 minutes. So a lot of negativity. God bless all those women who put up with all of us who shout at the TV and curse and get mad when their Tigers lose.
Darian Hudson says, best show ever. Thank you for the nice words. Glad you're enjoying the show. If you guys are enjoying the show, hit the like button. But also, too, if you're haven't already subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. You'll get alerted every time we upload a video or we go live. We're about to hit that summer month where you got a little bit of a lull. But before you know it, football season is going to be here. SEC Media Days. We're going to have full coverage of that. And we're going to be loading a lot of stuff to our YouTube channel. We're buying more equipment and planning on adding even more to our YouTube channel in the fall for you guys. And so hit us, help us get over that 21,000 mark. We're at like at 800, and you guys have helped us grow by leaps and bounds, and thank you big time for that. Largest LSU channel in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana market, and it's all thanks to you guys. Creek Dweller says, appendix removed last week. It's been rough. Hope you're doing all right, and hope you're on the heel and on the mend. Have a speedy recovery. All right, let's scroll up here. Creek Dweller says, John Emery needs to take advantage of the academic department set up for student athletes. Emery just doesn't care about going to class. I don't know how he got in that situation. It's been a hole he's been trying to dig out of for, 18 months? And, there's a lot of people were pointing the fingers, and a lot of people had some halfway correct info 2 years ago. And I hope he gets it done. But going out and getting Logan Diggs was a big shot in the arm, more than an insurance policy. So you get Josh Williams 100% after he missed spring. Caleb Jackson's about to roll into campus in a week. And Trey Holly's already there. Noah Kane had a great spring. We'll see if Armani Goodwin is 100%. He's another one that's had injury issues. But Frank Wilson now has all the backs he needs to get the job done and do it in a very big way. And he's going to have a much improved offensive line for his backs to run behind. Arguably one of the top 4 or 5 offensive line groups in the country. Certainly top 2 or 3 in the SEC.
Yeah, and look, for what we saw at the spring, folks, it truly was chicken salad out of chicken poop. I mean, you had Noah Kane every day, and of course Trey Holly. Trey was still wet behind the ears and learning the ins and outs. But
I think he's going to be a pretty darn good pass blocker, even regardless of his size. I was watching him. They're going to bring him along pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's going to grasp all those protections in a hurry.
The way I look at it is Josh Williams and Noah Kane and Logan Diggs would be right up there at the top 3. Trey Holly and Caleb Jackson would be right there, 4 and 5. And obviously Armani Goodwin and John Emery if he's available. Now, look, put the tape in when Emery plays Alabama in Baton Rouge. In 20, he had an incredible game and that great score. And then I talked about this picture with Shaq, and we had a great play where he caught the ball and made everybody miss and got in. As we talked about, though, if you don't get your academics, you're going to get in the doghouse. If you fumble the football, you're going to get in the doghouse. So those are 2 problems that are all on Emery. He's got to clean up. But it's a luxury now that you got no Logan Diggs. But Emery does give you that burst and potential take it to the house. We also think that Caleb Jackson is going to be that way. But how fast can he come in now with getting reps with 5 or 6 running backs in practice?
Yeah, and of course, Trey Holly has the advantage of having been a midterm grad. And because the running back room was so thin, he got a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that's going to benefit him greatly.
Sure.
All right, let me scroll down and get to some more of your comments. Andy Whitaker Fizzbuzz, I think Sunday's game hurt so much to see that people are overreacting. This team has too much talent to doubt them. I don't think they have more issues than the rest of the top teams.
Well, you know what I noticed, Mike? And this is kind of sad, but this is you know what the highlight of the game was for me last night? To see everybody when the TV was panning in between innings. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was dancing. Everybody was doing this. So the crowd is trying to think positive. But on that Sunday deal, man, you could almost feel it in that tension. And look, you and I both know Jay Johnson, the man, the person, the coach. He's a good guy. But
Excellent.
he's made some mistakes, and he's human. Jay Johnson's a hitting instruction. Damn it, he ought to be telling Dylan Cruz right now, you're swinging down. He ought to be putting that tape in that film and showing him.
Man, they've got so much computer. I mean, they can. It's like a golf swing.
But once again, right here between the ears, that's where it is, and that's why you guys were chiding me about being Dale Brown or Dale Carnegie or whatever. Let me tell you what, folks. If you wake up in the morning, there's two things that only you affect: your attitude and your work ethic. And if you want to work hard and you want to feel positive, then guess what? I think you got a chance to have a great day.
Will, when is Hurley getting to campus? He's going to be a midterm grad. And so he's not only has he moved up a year, he's going to be a midterm grad. And a big integral part of what Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan and Denbrock are building on the offensive side of the ball. I did see today that one network has him rated as a 3-star still.
Well, of course, the big news was Dylan Raiola, who committed to Georgia. He was a one-time Ohio State commit, and so Georgia continues to bring in some studs. They are obviously going to be the prohibitive favorite to win the overall SEC championship in the East. And Mike, today is 2 calendar months away from Brian Kelly and SEC Football Media Days. July 17th, it will be here. I think Alabama will be the pick in the West, just barely ahead of LSU. And then we'll see Texas A&M and Ole Miss and all that. But interesting to see what Kelly is going to be like at Media Days, knowing now after a year in the SEC and having a second year to kind of supplant that depth. He's still a year away, but you got to admit, you're going to have more players and more depth in this second year.
Absolutely. Rick Cloetti, Hurley is going to rock the SEC as LSU starting quarterback. He is a fine young man. He's a finer young man than he is a football star. He absolutely is exceptional. Like I've said to you guys before, met his dad last summer. His dad's a retired police officer, Superman, super individual. And kid's obviously been raised right and big personality, charisma, and you like those kind of guys like him at quarterback. Highly intelligent.
Oh, man.
So
that kid, all the different interviews he's done, I don't know if I've ever seen a 15, 16-year-old kid be so smart. He's still got to do it on the field, but he is going to be a leader. And a shout-out to Tavion Galloway, who continues to do a great job.
Yeah, and he switched high schools, and a really good friend of mine who's been in the recruiting game for a long time says his new high school is basically 2 blocks from his house. So we're going to have a lot of Tavion Galloway footage shot for you on TigerBait this year.
Man, it's exciting to see what the tight ends are coming like. I'm excited for Pimpton coming in. We saw Mac Markway and of course, Jackson McGowan and Taylor coming back. Mason Taylor in year 2, I think, is going to be improved, Mike.
Yeah, man, we saw him show up last June just at work in the LSU camp as a new arrived freshman. I was like, wow, this kid physically. And now another year, gets his shoulder cleaned up, and the sky's the limit for him. And, I mean, he's already a full keeper after what he did the first week in November.
Well, look, he will never forget that game and that play. And one of the things that shocked me with Brian Kelly is when early on he talked about Mason Taylor and gave a parallel to Brock Bowers, of course, who is considered one of the best tight ends in all the SEC in the country. And at first, if you remember, people were getting the red ass because there were some early games in the season. He had 7 targets, and Booty and the other guys were only getting 4 or 5. But I think we saw the back end of the year, and I think that once again, you're going to have a big offensive line, but Jaden Daniels, is he going to be able to throw it as much downfield? How much will he run? How good will that line be? And then when you get in the red zone, folks, you know how important it is. You got to score touchdowns if you want to be a championship team and not kicking field goals, especially what we saw with the field goal kicking in the spring.
All right, guys. Thanks all of you for tuning in. Go to TigerBait, subscribe. Got some really good stuff on TigerBait right now. Kalaj Tut Cobbins, we went out and saw him 2 days ago. Got an interview with him. a highlight video of him from practice. I'm hitting the road again tomorrow. I think Saturday again, getting as much. We're trying to get as much views of some of the LSU recruiting targets as we can before the spring evaluation period ends. Of course, all the LSU football coaches are out and about as well. And we'll see you on the TigerBait message boards and be back here next week. And hit the like button, share, subscribe. Go to TigerBait.com and subscribe. $1. We'd love to have you be a part of our premium side of TigerBait.com. And what do you got? Glass half full.
Glass half full, not half empty. Live it, baby.
All right, guys. Good night. Thanks to all of you guys for participating, tuning in. See you next time.